Welcome to Manifesting Through Motherhood. I'm your host, Lindsay Williams, a self-development mentor, entrepreneur and author, dedicated to helping busy mums like you manifest success, balance and create passive income on your terms. With years of experience in mindset, manifestation, fitness, parenting and business growth, I share simple yet powerful strategies to help you transform your life without the overwhelm. If you're ready to up-level your mindset, build a thriving business and create the life you truly deserve, you're in the right place. You can also find all my books on Amazon, packed with tools to help you manifest and grow. So don't forget to follow the podcast to be updated on all new episodes. And let's get going. Welcome back, ladies. How is everybody doing? So much feedback on the last episode. I feel like it resonated with so many people. And sometimes these episodes do, because it's real life talk. And I get so many women reaching out to me, even men, that listen to the podcast and say, it really, I know I'm not a mum, but you don't have to be a parent to listen to this. If you love self-development and manifesting, it's open to everyone. But I do cover parent topics. So obviously I'm a parent, so that's what I'm going to talk about. But why are mums mentally exhausted, and why is no one talking about it? Women are exhausted, whether you've got one child or 5 children. So let me ask you something. When was the last time you truly switched off? Not sat down scrolling, not watching something while mentally planning tomorrow, not replying to messages while folding washing. I mean, properly switched off. Because if you feel like your brain never stops, and if you go to bed tired and wake up tired, and if you feel on from the moment your eyes open, then this episode is for you. And I want to start by saying, you're not failing and you're not dramatic. Let's talk about something that so many of us mums carry, but really talk about. It's called the invisible load. You might have heard of the word full bandwidth, but there's also the word the invisible load. The mental weight of being the one who remembers everything, plans everything, and holds everything together. And it can be exhausting. Motherhood is not light. We are raising our children, working, running homes, supporting partners, building dreams, trying to look after our health, showing up for friendship, and somewhere in between we're told to prioritise self-care. I listened to a podcast, Luana, and Louisa was talking about friendships and how we don't get together as much with people like we used to, because I feel like the internet, we kind of see what's going on in people's lives a lot. We are so busy, we are doing a lot. And when we do try and plan things out, it's hard to commit. And not because people don't want to, but I feel like people now say no easier. I do it all the time, because sometimes I'm like, the idea sounds great, but I can't be bothered. I just really can't be bothered doing things at the weekend because we're so busy in the week. I want to switch off, and I'm the main culprit for not just switching my brain off. When I'm emptying the dryer, I have to have a podcast on. I have to be doing 2 things at once. I am multitasking. Even if I'm in and out the salon, doing jobs, I need to be listening to my podcast, so I've got that. So I'm catching up with that. I can't just walk around with nothing in my ears. My brain doesn't stop. I bought a magazine Thursday, so I've got the article is out next week on the 12th. So my husband went to the Tesco and got the magazine, because it's like ahead. So it had the 12th on, but it's not out till the 12th. But that was the 12th edition or something. It was really confusing. It's got the date on, but it's like behind. So he rang me and said, because he said, I'll go and get it, and then I'll drop Harrison off at school, and then I'll come back. And I was going networking. So he rang me, said, it's not there. It's not in the article. I was like, well, just still get it anyway, because, I read a lot online, but it's sometimes nice. And I do get magazines for the salon, so it'd be great in the salon. So I looked today and I thought, you know what? I have not read a magazine for a very long, as in paper magazine. So I'm going to save that for a bath, and I'm going to read a magazine with no podcasts, nothing going on. It's so hard. I feel like we are frying our brains sometimes. I think because we've got so much going on. It's like a foot pedal. And we're just revving it all the time. It's so hard sometimes to let go. I feel like we are scared to let go sometimes, because if we let go, then we just conk out. It's one of them cars that used to have a choke. I mean, I didn't have one, but my mum will be listening to this, and she had I don't know, was it a Skoda one? And she was like a little choke thing, so that kept going. But they're just cars, that's what you used to do, you have to like pull them. But we do have a lot of mental responsibility, even if you've been married 20 years. A lot of people will relate to this that listen, because husbands get, I'm not saying lazy, or partners get lazy. You get, from my experience talking to other clients that come to the salon, they're like, oh, I have to do everything. But sometimes we do make a rod for our own back, because we do things. My husband's off in the week at the minute, so he just works 2 days a week at the weekend, and I've really pulled back on things. And I've done it slowly, and it's been good. But he enjoys it. And I think, why shouldn't he do it? I'm working, so you take our son to school. Like, we are both in a caring capacity. He still requires a lot of personal care, lifts everywhere, everything. We have to do everything for him, basically. Like most children, like I said in the last episode, are doing things for themselves, going out, making their own decisions. I still have to get decisions like clothes and underpants. I have to do everything. Choose his clothes, because he just can't make those decisions. He wouldn't know what size he is. Like, we would know, oh, I'm size this. He wouldn't know that. We've been and bought him some trainers today and some clothes. And I'm like, he would just say, yep. Or he wants character clothes, but they don't have character clothes at 15. So that's a bit of a shame. But I also need him to start levelling up a little bit to his age, because I also need to think about when he's out and about. I don't want him to get picked on. I don't want him to be stared at. I want him to feel a part of the community. So these are changes that I'm having to make, because, like, he loves all that. He does that at home. That's his guilty pleasure at home. All the younger minded, like, toys and the films that he likes to watch. But we do have a lot of things to do physically, like the dentist and just food and school, like that, our life admin. I've always got life admin to do. Birthday parties, we've always got birthday parties at schools. We've always got to remember to buy the presents and go to parties. And we sort of, I think if I was here, what would my husband do? And yes, he would manage, but then I always think, would he have a life like he has? Because we're just super on the ball, I think. I don't know what it is. Is it just the thing that kicks in? Like, as a mother, like when you have a child, do we just get over involved in our child's life? I don't know. We just can't help, like, with anything I like to get over involved, like to make sure everything's perfect, but it can also tire me out as well in the process. But you know what? Most of this work is completely unseen. And I say this to my husband all the time. You don't see what I do behind the scenes and the emails to the school and this, that and the other. And he like looks at me and he's like, well, how do I know if I don't know? But now he goes shopping and does the things that we need to do. Because if I'm working, and like I would normally go weekend, but what I'm finding in supermarkets at the minute, the food's got a rubbish date. So if I can't pick up the things I need, he'll go on a Monday while I'm working and go and get the food for the week. And we're making lists, and the lists are in his phone, and he's got like a methodical system, what he uses. But I couldn't use that system. It's just jumbled words to me. And that shows how my brain works. But it works for him, so I just let him do it. And like a to-do list. And he knows, like I say to him, little things that I don't, like DIY jobs. Can you do that? But we can be a bit overloaded. But we can also make ourselves overloaded. And your nervous system just gets too fried. But there is a huge difference between being tired and mentally exhausted. You can sleep for 8 hours and wake up feeling heavy. Because it isn't physical tiredness. It's the cognitive load. My brain has so many tabs open. Think about all the things now you've got open for today, what you need to do. And that's why journaling and writing things down is really important. I have so many things I think, right, I need to do this, I need to do that. But I need to start. What I've been doing, and I've been really good at night, I've been sitting on the sofa. And even my husband said, like, you don't even usually do this. And I'm like, yeah, but I felt like I was coming into a bit of a flare-up with my fibro. So I went physio today. So she did some work on my back, so that was great. And I feel like that will help me for a few weeks, but then I've got to be careful not to trigger. Stress triggers my back. Anything, trauma, anything that can just flare it up. An incident of something, I could just start to feel that tension rise and it's just so tight. But then I start thinking, I've got so much to do. And last week I just needed a bit of time out. Even though I was still there, I wasn't pushing socials. I feel like the week after my cycle, I'm in a very slow stage. There's only like 1 week and a half of the month where I'm creative, I want to show up, I want to stand up and talk. But I feel like as I get older, I want to be quiet a little bit more. I just want to put my feet up at night with my electric blanket and just relax. But I never used to be that person. But my husband does ground me. It helps me be like that. And I do get better results from my own overall health if I do that. But when we've got low level tension, it's so hard to switch off. That is not you being bad at coping. It's your brain asking for that little support. And somewhere along the line, exhaustion becomes normalised in motherhood. Almost like if you're not exhausted, you must not be doing enough. I have a client coming today and she was like, oh, I've had one of those weeks. And it's funny, like a lot of the women that are coming for treatments, they are saying, I'm just not feeling it at the minute. I feel like I'm doing too much. Because you know what? Life is a lot harder than it used to be. We've got a lot more. Like, we're looking after us, but we're also looking after children. A few of my friends have got disabled children as well. And that's hard because they've not just got to think of the normal day-to-day tasks, they've also got to think of the education healthcare side, all like the nighttime care, the personal care, sorting out carers, not sleeping, peg feeding. They've got lots of different things going on like that. More than my other friends that don't have children with additional needs. So it's so important that we are indulging in a little self-care, even if it's just an eye patch, just relaxing. We're not just put on this earth just to function. We are allowed to feel calm, supported, and you're allowed to enjoy your life, not manage it. I do not feel guilty for self-care, and I said this to a client. If you see me at a spa or going for a massage or doing whatever, that's because I'm needing it. And the more we indulge, the more I'm telling my body saying, you need some self-care. My quality of self-care is different to somebody else's because I work in the hair and beauty industry, so I like that type of self-care anyway. I would go for a spa every day if I could. Wouldn't we all? Go for a massage. But self-care can just be new pyjamas and just relaxing. You can buy my book, Manifesting Through Motherhood. You can sit and do the activities in there and just start making a bit of a plan. Once you start to map your life out and plan what you're doing, everything just starts to fall into place. You can delegate where you can. Ask for help. Outsourcing is what you've got to do. Share the mental responsibilities. Bring people into the fold. And here's a big one. Let go of the idea that it has to be done your way, because it's usually always my way, and I've pulled back a bit. And it's had a huge shift in my relationship. The relationship's even better because I'm not trying to control everything. Let's look at closing some of those mental tabs. Imagine your brain like an internet browser with 42 tabs open. Ask yourself each morning, what actually matters today? Not everything is urgent, not everything is your responsibility, and not everything needs to happen right away. Give yourself permission to prioritise and lower the invisible standards. Many of us mums aren't just carrying tasks, they are carrying expectations. The expectation to remember everything, to be everything, to never drop a ball. But listen to this, you don't have to earn rest. Rest is not a reward you get once everything is finished. Because let's be honest, it's never finished. Rest is a basic human need. And I say this to my friend Lindsay all the time. And she'll be listening to this going, yep. I say, she does so much. She's got 2 children. I say, you make me feel exhausted. And she's got this, that going on. I went, please, for your health purposes, please sit down and relax. I can't even imagine her sitting there with her feet up and just chilling or going off for a spa on her own, because she'd be racked with guilt. And sometimes because of the other person making you feel like that, or just society's expectations, the way we've been brought up. Because our parents sometimes can make us feel like, "Oh, you're not working today." I used to get that, not from my mum, but like from my granddad and my nan. They'd be like, "You're not working today." And then I think, you know what, I've already earned a wage this week. And yes, I've got today off or tomorrow off. But it's not the normal 9 to 5 day. Because of my job, I could do it in a block. And that could be it. But I've got to be careful with my pain. Because if I do too much, I'll have a flare up and then I can't work for days. So it's such a battle. I've got to really be careful. Because if I'm going to go in a flare up stage, I'm going to have a few days on the sofa, which I want to avoid. Because it throws me back, especially with my manifesting and my goal setting. I get into a really good flow. And this always happens. We're in a good flow. Everything's happening. And what happens, everything just goes wrong. So sometimes we just need to listen to our body. We need to build micro moments of reset. I'm not talking about a full spa day. I mean tiny pauses in your day. 3 deep breaths before getting out of the car. A quiet cup of tea without multitasking. 5 minutes of fresh air. Like just go in the car, go and get that magazine. Next week, go and get a chat magazine on Thursday. And I want you to all go and get a tea, coffee, whatever you drink. And I want you to read the whole magazine. I want you to put your phone on Do Not Disturb. And then I want you to write a journal after how you felt. What did you learn from that? Think of it as like an exercise. What, like, it would be something you would get was I didn't look at my phone. I felt like I took something in a little bit more. Because when we read, reading's good for us anyway because we're learning words and a language. But we don't read properly anymore. Everything's just on our phone. We don't actually read normal words sometimes, like you would in a magazine, like the colours, everything is black and white to us all the time. It's on our screen. These small moments tell your nervous system you are safe and you can soften. And they matter more than you think. They're just pockets of joy. Find something for you to do. I sit in here and I'll get my head massager out, got a neck massager. My husband's sometimes like, "What are you doing?" and laughs. He's like, "Oh, what's this?" Because I said, "I need a minute." He doesn't even bat his eyelid when I say I need a minute. I said to him the other day, "I'm going to go for a spa day on my own." He's like, "We need to go for one." I was like, "Yeah, absolutely, but I'd be quite happy just to go on my own." Because I think sometimes it's just nice to be quiet. And I don't do that. I probably feel a bit strange because I like to be with people. But I feel like sometimes, even like when we do things in pairs, we don't really get a minute. I don't really get a minute to myself. Because if I'm not in the salon talking to clients, I'm doing this. I'm talking to my husband. I'm talking to parents at school. I'm talking to my son. I'm talking online. I'm doing stories. Doing social posts. Everything is using my brain. We just think, you know, when I talk to people and say, "I just want to run away. I want to go and sit on an island or do something." There's your warning sign. Why do you want to go and sit on an island on your own? Why do you want to go and escape? I have so many parents that reach out to me and say they are struggling with this. I've just had enough. And even if the partners, and to be honest, they probably haven't had enough of the partners. They've just had enough of them that week. Because we can't keep smiling all the time. We have to be, like I said to my husband the other night, I think my son was at youth club. So we sat down and we were just relaxing, and I was doing something in my diary, or we were writing something, and he was doing something on his phone. He was looking at doing some things, whatever he was doing. And I was like, you know what? We just sat calm and relaxed. And he kept like rubbing my knee. And I was like, you know what? It's really good that we can just sit here together. We don't always have to talk, but we like each other's company. And he's like, well, that's just contentment. That's happiness. And it's like, it is. We don't need to be constantly talking because we spend more time together now because he's at home in the week. So I can bob in the house. And if I've like got some gaps, we'll go shopping, we'll go for breakfast. We like spending time together, so we get on really well. Arguments, we're just on the same page and we get each other. And I think that's it, when you understand each other. If you're feeling a bit overloaded, he sees that straight away with me. I never see him overloaded. He's just so chill. So like we say, some people don't need that chill time. I need all this self-care time. And I'm like, do you never feel like you need to go for a massage or do this or do that? And he's like, no, I'm just happy. I'm just chilling here. I'm just relaxing yeah. So I'm like so easily pleased. But we're so different. But he does do a lot around the house. And he does his share of childcare as well. Got to remember that we matter too, not just as a mum, not just as the organiser of everyone's lives, but as a woman, as a person, as a business person. Your needs are not an inconvenience, they are valid. Let me leave you with this reframe, because I really want it to land with you. You are not weak for feeling overwhelmed. You are responding exactly as a human nervous system does under constant responsibility. Strong women are not the ones who prove how much they can carry. They are the ones who recognise when it's time to put something down. So if you've been feeling stretched, mentally busy, touched out, quietly exhausted, let this be your reminder today. You are doing better than you actually think, even on the loud and messy days, even when you question yourself. And if this resonated with you, then I want you to get your journal and I want you to write down now or as soon as you can, even if it's in your notes section on your phone. I want you to write down how you feel after listening to that. Even if I want you to go back to the beginning and go through it and pause it and go through segments. And I bet you will pick up so much because I might start, sometimes these podcasts can upset you because I can just like touch a nerve a little bit, spark something up, get you a little bit angry, poke at you a little bit, because people can be triggered by podcasts. Think, oh, I never thought of it like that, because I get feedback all the time and they say, that really, really like triggered me, that. I can't believe that's me, that is so me. Because that's what this is. This is real life self-development and self-improvement. We need to do it all the time. We can feel like we've done the most self-improvement for the month, but I feel like our brain is always expanding. It's always improving. We've got our neural pathways, we're learning all the time. So it's just understanding us as we ripen and mature and get older. We learn so much what we know now to what I knew when I was 20. I wish I knew what I knew now back then, but I probably would have been more overloaded back then. But now everything is about parenthood and running a house. Back then it was probably living at home or, just going to the gym every night and doing all the things that I want to do. So let me know how this resonated with you. How are you doing at the minute? Where are you at? Beginning of February now, recording this. And it's gone really fast. So it doesn't matter if you've not achieved all your goals, because February is a new January, as I said. So I'm going to go now and I will speak to you all soon. And you take care and happy manifesting. Bye for now. If you're feeling called to go deeper, to align more, create more, and really step into that next version of you, you'll find everything you need in my link tree. From my book, Manifesting Through Motherhood, to powerful resources and ways we can work together. It's all there waiting for you. Come and find me on Instagram or Facebook. I love hearing what landed with you. Don't forget to follow the podcast, and if this episode spoke to you, please share it with someone who is on their own journey too. And happy manifesting.